My name's Alan Jenkins. I'm with Somerdale International. We're an exporter of British cheese all around the world. We hit all four corners, from America to Australia, Far East to the Middle East. Somerdale's very proud that we have recently acquired the business assets of Abergavenny Fine Foods blended cheese business.
Yeah, fantastic. So why Alan, did you go for, or did Somerdale essentially make this decision to go for these assets in particular? What does it add to the business?
For the past 30 years, Somerdale has been working with Abergavenny in partnership. We have been exporting their cheeses, but also Abergavenny have been producing some cheeses for Somerdale. So when we were talking about where the future lies and where Abergavenny's future wanted to be, it made natural sense for us to kind of pick up those brands, acquire them, and really kind of secure our future, and also bring Somerdale more in depth to British cheese and export them all around the world.
And who are some of the US retailers that you're supplying into? There's some big players, aren't there?
We're very fortunate. We have some amazing partners. We work directly and very closely with the likes of Whole Foods, who are pioneers in the specialty cheese market in the US. We've been very lucky to work with them for now about 10 years, and we supply them directly. And we work very hard to keep developing the specialty cheese British offering alongside them.
Yeah, fantastic. So going forwards then, now this deal has been struck, and also separate to that, looking at Somerdale's business plan for, say, the next sort of 3 years, where do you feel the most potential lies in export markets? Where is your focus going to be?
So our focus is going to be in North America, the Far East, and not just, everyone thinks of the Far East thinking it's just China. It's not. It's further afield, be it with Indonesia, be it Vietnam and Thailand, and then Australia. We're very fortunate where we have a team in each market. We have 4, nearly 5 people now based in the North American market, and then we have people in-house in Sydney and then in Beijing in China. So our focus is in market, bringing the best of British cheese out directly to those countries.
Yes. And you mentioned that it's not just obviously Somerdale. You actually kind of work across the piece with a number of very strong cheese producers across the UK. So it's a real kind of success story of collaboration. Who are some of the people you work with?
So I think that's the right word. It's the collaboration and the teamwork that we have with our producers. So we work with the likes of AJ and RG Barber, who are an amazing supplier and the oldest cheddar making family in the world. And being able to say that we supply cheese from the oldest cheddar making family in the world is a great selling tool and an amazing cheese that we're very lucky to work with. The likes of Joseph Healer, third generation Cheshire producer, an amazing producer now of great cheddars and then territorials. And then Cropwell Bishop. Cropwell Bishop are a third generation Blue Stilton producer. In my opinion, one of the best. Really are a great family owned, and they care, and the passion that they have in their Stilton is fantastic. And all the people I just mentioned, the passion is there. We're passionate about cheese. So are our customers, and we're very lucky to work with the likes of these people to kind of portray that passion across the world.
And you mentioned Joseph Healer there. So in relation to the detail of the deal with Abergavenny Fine Foods, could you tell me a little bit about the detail behind that and how Joseph Healer in particular is playing a big role in that? So
the great thing about Joseph Healer is that in their DNA is quality. So working with them to produce some of these cheeses on our behalf made perfect sense. It was an easy choice. They control the milk. They have their own farm, and they pull milk from over 100 farms in the Cheshire area. So they have direct control of the milk. They are making great cheese at their new facility. The tie-in was perfect. It made perfect sense for us to work together as a team.
Yeah, so they're taking on the production of a lot of these artisan cheeses from the blended cheeses from AFF.
Exactly. Yes, they are indeed.
Yeah, excellent. And in terms of the assets that you secured from AFF as well, could you go into a little bit of the detail there?
So working with the Abergavenny is, as I was saying, they were wanting to exit the blended cheese market. So it made sense for us to kind of buy the all the assets that were available. So be it from machinery, recipes, and trademarks, we took the whole. We decided to buy the whole lot, and we came to a very good agreement between the two companies that we then control the manufacturing of these. Whilst we won't manufacture ourselves, it made sense to work with the experts like Joseph Heather to produce these cheeses on our behalf.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on to the deal then, and some of your kind of focus on the wider export market. When we think of exports, obviously the process of exports has become a lot more kind of front and center post January the 1st and the impact of the full impact of Brexit. How has the impact, particularly since the new year, how has that affected Somerdale's business?
So there has been a few delays, and delays would be the right word. Everyone's worked very hard to make sure that we're prepared as we can. So from our side, we're now understanding or getting up to speed of how we do the direct importation from the EU. And our first shipment arrived this week from the EU into the UK, and that went well without any hitches. In the next 2 weeks, we'll start exporting out to the EU for consolidation, and we're still getting up to speed on how that procedure works. But we understand how the procedure needs to work. We'll make sure we will have the correct paperwork there in place. The challenge that we all have, and I think this is from the company, our business, as well as the transportation side, is that we all got this information so late in the day. Now everyone's working tirelessly just to get up to speed, so we know how to kind of keep moving freight across borders as seamlessly as possible.
Yes, I see. And I believe that the IT system may be causing initial headaches for customers and the people, your partners that you work with overseas. Would that be fair?
Correct. So the challenge is that Brexit isn't a British change. Brexit affects Europe and affects the wider world also. So now when you're importing products into the EU, an EU-based company have to fill in some information online to certify and make sure that product flows through the UK border into the EU. So this insular look inwards of how does Britain now change with leaving the EU, that's the wrong way. That's just not the only way of looking at it. It's European companies importing product from the UK. How do they facilitate that as well? And that's a learning curve on both sides.
Yes. Okay. And I gather in terms of the flow of raw materials, so particularly packaging, that there have been some issues there in terms of having to accommodate much larger timescales between putting the order in and actually getting what you require.
Exactly. Yes. So there's been a number of challenges. I think, again, Brexit was challenging enough this year, and having COVID there as well has just exasperated a already challenging time. So yes, lead times on packaging grew hugely, and this was due to just a change in demand. I mean, the increase in online purchases has mean there's been a huge run on cardboard. Also, people stockpiling ready for Brexit, and so lead times increased from maybe 3 to 5 days on ordering raw materials, going up to 3 to 5 weeks.
Yes, and yet what I find encouraging from you is a real sense that, despite these initial obstacles, actually, your focus remains doggedly on growth in exports. The company as a whole, is seeing growth, and there's a lot more potential out there. So, despite COVID and Brexit, how do you see the future of UK Food PLC?
The UK is one of the best producers or best manufacturers of food in the world. We have some of the highest standards. We have some of the best skill sets, NPD, that there are to offer in the world. So our prospects are huge. I mean, they're fantastic. There's great, there should be good positivity. The challenge that we have is that we're not the only country wanting to export. So we have competition out there. but we do have some of the best standards out there. So we should be out there pioneering with the best of them. And so, yes, times are hard now, but 3 to 5 years down the line, I'm hoping that we all see some really good growth and prosperity. At Somerdale, we have seen good growth over the past 3 to 4 years. Very proud of being grown by about 40%. And we see that kind of continuing growth trajectory to continue.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, Alan, thank you so much for joining us. This is Rod Addy for Foodman Talks at Food Manufacture.